If you want to do an advanced push-up, some of the ones we teach, but you don't quite have the strength or endurance yet, I'm going to show you a progression that you can use to make any push-up really easy, or in fact, if a push-up's too easy for you, to make it a lot more challenging. So for any push-up, the best way to make it easy is, instead of doing it on the floor as a standard push-up, you're going to start out doing it against the wall. So just like this, you would just go down and up just the same way you would on the floor, but against the wall. You're going to step back from a wall and just lean into it. You know, my 80-plus-year-old grandma can do push-ups like that. You can do push-ups like that, and it's a great way to work up form and work up endurance. Once you have that really mastered and you're comfortable with it, you're going to do some incline push-ups. And what that means is your hands are going to be elevated. They're going to be up on a sturdy table or chair. And it makes push-ups significantly easier than doing them flat on the ground. So once you get good at those, and you can do, let's say, 10 of them in a row, then you're going to move on, and you're going to move up to doing push-ups off your knees. Now these are easier because instead of having to leverage up your whole body, it's only your body cut off there. So again, you still want to make sure that your back's straight, that your form's good, and that you're doing a complete range of motion. Once you have push-ups off your knees down, at this point you can do wide push-ups. And that means instead of having your feet together, you can bring them out. Doing that does two things. It gives you a wider and more stable base, and it actually means that, again, kind of like the knee push-ups, you have leverage working on your side instead of against you. So it's basically the difference between, instead of holding out your hands like this, you're holding them out like that. So there's less pushing you down. So again, instead of a tight push-up, you go wide. Makes it easier from the front. Instead of a tight push-up, you go wide. And then finally, once you have all that down, you're going to do a standard push-up completely spread out. So feet together. This progression isn't just to make push-ups easier, it's actually to make push-ups harder too. If you reach a point where you can do a push-up easily in sets, then you need something a little more challenging. Your gains have plateaued and you need to throw something new at your body. You can apply these tricks to almost any push-up and, you know, get that continued challenge, get those continued gains. So we left off at just normal spread out push-ups, but you can make it harder. You can do what's called decline push-ups. And what you're going to do is put your feet up on a sturdy surface, like a chair. And by doing that, you're going to have more emphasis on your shoulders, and you're going to have gravity working against you more. So with your feet elevated, which is going to make it tougher, you're going to do push-ups. Once those get easy, you can incorporate your core more by only doing push-ups with one foot. So normally you would have both feet on the ground. In this one, you're going to put one foot in the air, like that, and your core is going to have to stabilize your body. Once that gets easy, you can do plyometric push-ups. The most common one is clapping push-ups, but anything where you're pushing off the ground and actually kind of jumping off the ground with your hands counts as a plyometric push-up. And for the next level, you can do the push-up one-handed. So instead of using both hands, you put all the weight on one. You can combine this progression any way you want. So even if you get to the point where you can do one-handed push-ups, no problem, or you can do clapping push-ups, no problem, I've never met anybody that could combine all of these. So they're doing it decline with their feet up. They're doing it off only one foot. They're doing plyometric, so it's clapping, and one hand, right? I mean, unless you're like an Olympic gymnast, that's not even an option. So you can always kind of change these to up the challenge. And likewise, you can combine them. So if you're kind of between things, you can almost do a plyometric push-up. Well, cool. You know, use some of the techniques I talked about earlier to maybe do it off your knees or do it against a wall to really build up your strength and your form. So follow the progression. Start with the wall. Then do it on an incline with your hands elevated. Then do it off your knees. Then with your legs wide. Then a standard push-up. And then once you can do a standard push-up easily, you can move on to doing it with your feet up in a decline push-up, doing it off a single foot to engage your core, doing plyometric burst push-ups, and then finally putting all your weight on one hand, doing one-hand push-ups, and if you want to keep going, combine those final ones to make it even more challenging. So I hope these tips help you, and for more great tips, check out our website, and I wish you every success. Thank you.